Welcome back. We're reviewing the debate from Thursday night, talking about that here on NightTalk. Get to the point. I'm Lenny McAllister. You're watching the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. Katie, when you watch how Jeb Bush did during that debate with the recent gaffes on the campaign trail, we're hearing the Democratic establishment saying maybe Hillary's not the person after all. The Republican establishment might be saying the same exact thing. So when you see Marco Rubio, when you see John Kasich doing some of what they did on that stage, are we getting to a point of time where the establishment might be saying Kasich might be the conservative, the compassionate conservative, but he's also one of us? Rubio, he was Tea Party, but he's been here long enough to be one of us. Are we starting to get to that point in time?
I think we're going to get close to that, without question. I mean, Bush came out yesterday and said that the reason why he was a part of a group that provided funding to plan, was because of Bloomberg, and he got there through his support for Common Core. I mean, every conservative in the world is just aghast at that.
And the key thing for me, and I'm going to put this out there, and Richard, you were in the room. I'm going to go to you first on this because you were in the room. What struck me was he gave basically the Hillary Clinton response of, what difference does it make? And he almost said it verbatim.
He's lining up with Bloomberg.
And it seemed as though between that, Planned Parenthood, the attitude of, I didn't know what difference does it make at this point in time, it seems as though he's spiraling, and it seems as though he looks more and more like a guy that hasn't been in elected office for 10 years.
To me, yesterday, he fell off the cliff. Like, for me personally, where the section that I was sitting, I was with evangelical leaders, like top guys like Tony Perkins.
Tony Perkins, you were Star Parker.
I was a Star Parker, for instance, Star. And he happened to, before the debate came, he was in our section, you know, shaking hands. And so I actually met him. And I met George Bush once. George Bush was more welcoming. He was more almost like a frat guy everybody likes. He'll drink with everybody. It was, well, W had a welcoming type personality. He good old boy, everybody. He had a more, it was almost like Dallas businessman type vibe to him. So everything he said, I don't recall anything that he said that was memorable about the whole night.
But you remember how he made you feel.
He made me feel, it was almost like, he didn't recall, it wasn't offensive, but it was kind of like, it just wasn't welcoming. And then from his performance, I can't recall anything memorable that the man said. So I'm going, I think he fell off the cliff. I think he starts plummeting, and I don't see him coming back from it.
Be very, very interesting. Brad, real quick, what were your thoughts on when you heard Jeb Bush say that before we go to break?
I thought he was a boring college professor. His suit didn't fit him well. His tie didn't look good. His glasses cast a shadow on.
He said nothing.
He just didn't. He didn't make a good personal appearance. The confidence didn't seem to be there. And I agree with you, Richard. I don't remember very much that he
What group
put across.
does he? Okay, Huckabee is clearly evangelical.
Hold that thought. Because what I want to do from here is I want to continue the conversation, talk a little bit about Carson, talk a little bit about Huckabee, and who did make themselves stand out with a little bit of time that each one of them had over the course of 2 hours. We'll continue this conversation next here on NightTalk. Get to the point.